We live in a time when the veil grows thin, yet many choose lies and won't look within. The matrix is warm, familiar and bright, but all of its beauty is borrowed light. They think they are free as they walk through the chains, bound to illusions, addicted to games. You show them the cracks, they cover their eyes, for truth is too costly when comfort's the prize. So choose to know, not just believe. Let the blindfold fall, let your spirit breathe. Truth may burn, but lies will bind. Escape the grid, reclaim your mind. Few will go where prophets tread, but freedom lies where comfort fled. The narrow gate, the higher call. To rise you first must lose it all. The red pill was never just fictional play. It called us to see through the coded decay. Neo awoke not because he was wise, but all of its beauty is borrowed light. They think they are free as they walk through the chains, bound to illusions, addicted to games. You show them the cracks, they cover their eyes, for truth is too costly when comfort's the prize. So choose to know, not just believe. Let the blindfold fall, let your spirit breathe. Truth may burn, but lies will bind. Escape the grid, reclaim your mind. Few will go where prophets tread, but freedom lies where comfort fled. The narrow gate, the higher call. To rise you first must lose it all. The red pill was never just fictional play. It called us to see through the coded decay. Neo awoke not because he was wise, but because he dared to question the lies. Morpheus stood as the voice at the door. He showed, but he never could drag him ashore. The choice was the key, the will was the sword, to pierce through illusion and follow the Lord. Schools and screens and false campaigns conditioned the hearts and rewired the brains. But deep in the soul, a flicker remains to break the spell, escape the chains. So choose to know, not just believe. Let the blindfold fall, let your spirit breathe. Truth may burn, but lies will bind. Escape the grid, reclaim your mind. Few will go where prophets tread, but freedom lies where comfort fled. The narrow gate, the higher call. To rise you first must lose it all. Families break and friendships fall. You'll be labeled mad by those who stall. But better to walk alone in truth than sell your soul to please the booth. For this is war not fought with guns, but waged in minds where darkness runs. Speak the truth and let it ring, even if no choirs sing. The light has a tone, the truth has a sound. It calls to the few who still stand their ground. And when the story exposes the stage, the ones who knew will lead the age. Choose to know, step through the veil. Though the wind may rise and flesh may fail, the road is steep, the cost is high, but only truth can help you fly. The matrix fades, the lies decay, for those who choose the narrow way. Not by force, but heart and flame. The ones who know will rise again. They were not born to black.
Hi. I think I need to turn off this. There we go. That was Resonant Arc. You can find that on YouTube. Choose to Know by Resonant Arc. It was actually, let me see here when that was. Anyway, I'll turn it off here. So it was posted about 5 months ago. It came out, and we'll put the link in the description of the video so that you can actually go find it for yourself. Anyway, hey, it's Lulu Rose with American Patriot Social and the Rose Room. I'm back again. Day 2. We have a couple of very important articles that came in tonight that I wish to share with you. So I kind of hopped on without much of planning. And I guess this is how it's going to go. So, anyway, I want to start with the scripture today. The scripture of the parable of the sower came because for many of us who have known and done the research and studied and done deep dives down into deep, deep rabbit holes for years and years, and being called crazy and shunned and everything under the sun, we still stand, and we're now seeing the truth is coming out, and the confirmations of the truth is coming out as well. So I wanted to take a moment and share scripture. This is Matthew 13, and it's Matthew 13:3. And he spoke to them much in parables, saying, and by the way, I'm using the scriptures TS 2009 version. I love it's also in chronological order when you read the Bible, and I love that. So let me do it. And he spoke to them much in parables, saying, see, the sower went out to sow. And as he sowed, some indeed fell by the wayside, and the birds came and devoured them. And others fell on rocky places where they did not have much soil. And immediately they sprang up, because they had no depth of soil. But when the sun was up, they were scorched, and because they had no root, they withered. And others fell among thorns, and the thorns came up and choked them. And others fell on good soil and yielded a crop, some 100-fold, some 60, some 30. He who has ears to hear, let him hear. And the taught ones came and said to him, why do you speak to them in parables? And he answering said to them, because it has been given to you to know the secrets of the reign of the heavens, but to them it has not been given. For whoever possesses, to him more shall be given, and he shall have overflowingly. But whoever does not possess, even what he possesses shall be taken away from him. Because of this I speak to them in parables, because seeing they do not see, and hearing they do not hear, nor do they understand. And in them the prophecy of Yeshua is completely filled, which says, hearing you shall hear, and by no means understand, and seeing you shall see, and by no means perceive. For the heart of this people has become thickened, and their ears are hard of hearing, and their eyes they have closed, lest they should see with their eyes and hear with their ears, lest they should understand with their heart and turn back, and I heal them. So we'll come to a point where this is very obvious to me what's going on right now. And um, I find myself having discussions with people about they wanting to see the fruits of who they've been talking to, if they have been speaking to. And I guess there was a time when I was doing the same thing. I was wanting to see the fruits of um, someone that I'd shared something with, whether it was the scriptures, whether it was biblical truth, or it was just the truth from what we had learned. And it was a time when I was very frustrated because I just couldn't figure out why people couldn't see it. And then Elohim, I use a God source, creator, um, whatever you prescribe to, whatever you subscribe to, whatever you call, we are all children from the creator. So let's not get hung up on names, and let's not get hung up on whatever we call it. Let's try to unite, because we are all going to wake up at different times. We're all going to see different things. Not one of us are created exactly the same. They've tried to stereotype us and stick us into a particular form and make us all be the same. Never going to happen. So what I want to say with that is these seeds that we sow, the seed that I sow tonight when I'm spending the time here with you, it's night again. Whenever you see it, whatever time of the day it is, it doesn't really matter. Um, it doesn't matter where it goes as long as we plant the seed. And we can plant the seeds everywhere. Wherever we are at, we have an opportunity to plant the seed. And then let God multiply it. Let God fertilize it. Let God water it, and let it be. Pray and lift it up and be thankful. I come with such a grateful heart to be here today, to be alive today in this biblical time, for us to be here in this good versus evil, light versus dark time, to stand in the gap and be a bridge holder and help people bridge over from one side to the other whenever they're ready. Not when I'm ready, not when I decide that somebody is ready, not when I'm deciding what somebody's gonna know or see or hear or say. Has nothing to do with it. It just has to do with the fact that I'm planting the seed. So that's what I'm going to do today. We have an article that was posted tonight, and I'm going to read through that and share with you. So give me a moment. I'm going to pull up the page. And also bear with me. I am new. I haven't done this for very long. So as we're learning, we'll get better and better. You're welcome to put in comments and below. And also, please check out, we have the links there. We have also, if you ever feel, and we say this, I say this every time, but we are, American Patriot Social is privately funded. We're funded by the Patriots. So we take our own, whatever money comes in for us. Many of us have been shadow banned. Many of us have lost our jobs. Many of us have walked away from our jobs um, to serve in these times, to fully engulf ourselves into this mission to save and bring peace on earth, to save this world and work as co-creators and walking along, being guided by God, Elohim. So we live on nothing, and that's okay. But we ask that if you wish to plant a seed, wish to leave a tip, wish to help our movement and help us bring this information out, please don't hesitate. Please follow your heart, pray about it, and even just pray for us. We need it so much. Our movement, our people, our community, our family, our loved ones. I mean, so many have lost our loved ones in this journey. Um, whether we have lost them to them submitting to taking the shots, which we're going to talk about, and whether they have walked away calling us crazy. We're still standing. We're still here. And we will be here the whole way. We're never quitting. We're never giving up. We are just going to continue. So, with that said, thank you very much. God bless you for helping us. We don't do commercials. We will put in the products that we support, but I'm not quite there yet. So, please just use the links below. All right. 1 second. I'm going to make sure that I get the screen up. All right, so this is from APS today, AmericanPatriotSocial.com. This was posted about 2 hours ago on our wall from APS News and Journalism. This is an article from by the Vigilant Fox, posted on December 14th, which was today, 2025. Trump was mocked for his medical treatment. It actually works. I'm going to get my glasses on. Millions of lives could have been saved, but medicine choose profit over healing. The following information is based on a report originally published by a Midwestern doctor. Key details have been streamlined and editorialized for clarity and impact. Read the original report here. There's the link. So we're going to go to that right now, and I have it right here. So we're going to go into Ultraviolet Blood Irradiation, UVBI, Revolutionized Medicine, by a Midwestern doctor. Why did it disappear? This is what Google has to say about UVBI. Ultraviolet blood irradiation, UBI, was once considered a groundbreaking and miracle therapy for a wide range of infections in the mid-20th century, particularly before the widespread availability of antibiotics and vaccines. While its use declined dramatically in mainstream Western medicine, it has not been forgotten and continues to be explored in complementary and alternative medicine, especially due to growing concerns over antibiotic resistant bacteria. Story at a glance. Natural light is an essential nutrient many of us lack within our bodies. When ultraviolet light is introduced into the bloodstream, remarkable health benefits emerge. Once ultraviolet blood irradiation (UVBI) was discovered in the 1930s, it produced miraculous results for patients on the verge of death and was quickly adopted by hospitals throughout America, demonstrating remarkable efficacy for a wide range of diseases. To neutralize this competition, the American Medical Association, AMA, published a doctored study that debunked UVBI, and it became a forgotten therapy. Russians and Germans recognize its value and have produced decades of research showing UVBI's remarkable utility. This article explores UVBI's remarkable history, systematic suppression, and scientific foundation, demonstrating why this therapy represents one of medicine's lost opportunities. I have attempted to make the case that we are routinely denied vital knowledge, treatment, and care to protect the interests of the medical industrial complex. For example, I've highlighted how unsafe pharmaceuticals make it to market because approval panels were stacked with people taking money from manufacturers, which was a tactic Anthony Fauci weaponized against America. I've discussed how the American Medical Association was taken over by unscrupulous businessmen who founded the association by promoting anything they were paid to, which is why there were so many MAA advertisements or doctors promoting smoking, while using the government to outlaw competing therapies. I've shown how American society has been separated from fundamental health requirements, for example, sleep or sunlight, how damaging losing these is, and how far the marketing industry goes to ensure we never reclaim these basic health requirements. This suggests that the remarkable medical innovations exist that have been overlooked or forgotten. I'll discuss one, ultraviolet blood irradiation (UVBI), because there's vast evidence for its use, and unlike many other lost medical technologies, it's still relatively accessible. I'm so thankful for this information coming out and thankful for anyone that is writing their research into material that we can share with the public. And take a look at this. I've said this for a long time personally. I personally have not used a sunscreen or been afraid of sunlight um, my whole life. And I came here to America, and being from Sweden, we were out in the sun and I was using sun tanning beds, which made me feel very healthy in the wintertime, made me feel very energized in the wintertime. And I couldn't figure out why everybody was just so upset and very, very um, adamant about me not staying out in the sun too long. And I said, I've been in the sun my whole life. I love my sun and I love the sunlight and I love the energy that I get from it. And personally, my little input. Anyway, let's keep going. I will have those little excerpts because I was born and raised in nature and learned in the natural remedies. So I advocate bring going back to nature. But let's go back to this article. The importance of sunlight. A widely held view exists that sunlight, particularly its ultraviolet component, is dangerous and must be avoided. Remarkably, much of that came from a 1980s public relations campaign that the struggling dermatology profession used to rebrand themselves as cancer fighters by creating a hysteria about benign sunlight-induced cancers while downplaying that the deadly skin cancer, melanoma, actually results from a lack of sunlight. A lack of sunlight. Let me note that again. Treating skin cancer is both straightforward and highly lucrative, marking dermatology one of the most sought after medical specialties. Note, a 20-year prospective study of 29,518 Swedish women, I didn't know this, I am from Sweden and I had not read the full article here, found that those who avoided sunlight were 8% more likely to die than women who had regular sunlight exposure. They were much more likely to develop various medical conditions. For example, they were twice as likely to get a cancer. As such, I've attempted to shine light on the critical benefits we receive from sunlight, how many illnesses result from artificial lighting and lack of sunlight, and that the same changes observed in plants and animals due to unhealthy lighting are also observed in humans, all of which is discussed here. Key points I covered there included unhealthy light causes and exacerbates exacerbates. I'm sorry. Sometimes you have to deal with me with the words here. Cancers and significantly increases infection risk, particularly in livestock. Unhealthy light contributes to behavioral disorders, for example, ADHD. Healthy lighting significantly increases the health, fertility, and productivity of domesticated animals. The circadian rhythm, which regulates sleep and healing, is heavily disrupted by unnatural lighting. Many biological structures are highly sensitive to specific light wavelengths, which is problematic because artificial lighting has narrow bands rather than a complete spectrum. Light plays a critical role in generating the circulation and protecting blood vessels. Ultraviolet light is particularly critical for health. The most dramatic benefits of light therapies occur when appropriate UV light is administered to the body. Glass blocks essential UV light, so modern life prevents access to that light, creating widespread UV deficiency. Since skin has difficulty absorbing UV light, we receive much light through the eyes. When individuals wear glasses, sunglasses, my personal note, just saying, wear glasses blocking sunlight from entering their eyes, health problems can ensue that resolve once addressed. The major challenge with light therapies is getting light inside the body. Fortunately, methods have been developed to do this, producing remarkable results for over a century. The history of ultraviolet blood irradiation. One of the oldest proven therapies was having people bathe in sunlight. It was one of the few things that actually succeeded in treating the 1918 influenza. Prior to antibiotics, it was one of the most effective treatments for tuberculosis and was widely used for other diseases, for example, erysipelas and mumps. One UVBI pioneer noted that low doses of externally applied UV light stimulated general resistance to infection in animals and humans. Just a personal note. Do we see skin cancer on animals who live in the woods and are out walking? The birds? I doubt it. Wonder why. Anyway, I grew up this way, so for me, this is so wonderful to read. And the discussions I've had with people. No, I don't have cancer. No, I haven't seen a doctor, a Western medicine, AMA doctor for a long, long time. I never took a COVID shot. I never took a, I never took a test. I just didn't even, I haven't even been in the hospital since before 2020. And guess what I did? I have to put this in here. I used ivermectin. Yep, I did. We had that was 2020, I think. And it has to be said, folks, seriously. I don't care what anybody says. We were all getting sick. Everybody got COVID for Thanksgiving in 2020. And I went home and I took my remedy. I did homemade hydroxychloroquine. And I took a little dose of ivermectin that I had. Yeah, horse paste. Yes, I took that. I've taken it ever since. And guess what? 24 hours after I had taken it, I was fine. no more illness, no more sickness, nothing. And I've taken it ever since. And I've really been proactive and trying to make sure that I have all the right ingredients in my food and think of what I eat. And do I junk it up? Yeah, of course I do. I eat junk, but I do feel it because I'm so proactive with it now. And I do want to help sharing. And I don't want to take more time talking about me, but I want to say I'm a perfect example of somebody that tried it and I am not afraid of sharing it. And we're going to help whoever wants to be helped. And we're just doing it as basic. I'm not a doctor, I'm just Lulu. And I'm just passionate about this too. And I've been shouting it from the rooftop. Some people are rolling their eyes at me and now I realize that it's true. It was always true. And we are not saying, "Oh, I told you so." We don't function that way, okay? All we are here to do is to help whoever wants to learn. And we love you. We have always loved you. The only reason why we did this from the very beginning was because we love you so much. We love to share what we know, what we took the time to do the research for. Some of us, I mean, I fought my whole life to not go to the doctor, and they really wanted to diagnose me with asthma. And I fought it. I used essential oils. I used all these kind of natural remedies. I don't, guess what? I don't have breathing problems. And I get passionate about sharing this because I think it's important for people to know. There are people like us out there who have done this, who have fought. I get rung down by the pharma for not going in and having my mammogram. I had got rung down because I mean, nonstop, coercive calling me to go in there. This is the God honest truth. It drove me batty. I said, I'm not coming in. And I didn't. But they were relentless for quite some time. Now, mind you, I love doctors. I love the people that I have been connected with. It's not about them. It is just about the original reason why. And the fact is that we did not have the right to choose, the freedom, free will, sovereign rights to choose for myself. That was all I fought for. I don't judge anybody for making any other decisions. That's up to you. But I wanted to do it this way. I wanted to protect my child and not pump him full of vaccines and pump him full of that poison. That's for a different day. I fought, even with the school, with everybody. I love the teachers. I am really good friends with the teachers. They're fantastic. It is just where it's coming from the top. We need to find out where it originated from, who put this in place, and why did they do it, and why are people not getting this information. So, anyway, that was my apple box soapbox moment for a little bit. Here's what we're going to do. I'm going to send you in the description, there will be a link to this for you to read the rest of this article. And I'm going to go back to the article with Trump. So hang on. Here we go. So thank you for letting me go through that little rant, by the way. Huh. I have so much to say. And I will. But time I will share as much as I can. And I have remedies and we have all that good stuff too. So anyway, remember when Trump curiously suggested putting light inside the body to treat COVID? The media mocked him with bleach jokes, but Trump wasn't crazy. It actually worked. And it's a story that blew even Joe Rogan away. Back in the 1940s, UV blood irradiation was used to treat sepsis, pneumonia, and even polio with remarkable success. But the American Medical Association rigged a study to kill it, ensuring this life-saving therapy vanished. Trump was onto something, and that is exactly what he was smeared, why he was smeared. We weren't supposed to know this treatment option existed. It turns out many of the diseases we are told are incurable aren't incurable at all. And it's not just what people say that gets twisted and smeared. Sunlight itself, yes, the light from the sun has been smeared as dangerous for decades. But the dermatology-led UV fear campaign of the 1980s ignored something crucial. The deadliest skin cancer is most common in people who avoid the sun. Let that sink in. A 20-year study of 29,518 Swedish women found sunlight avoiders were a staggering 130% more likely to die. The truth is simple. Sunlight protects us. Modern life blocks our access to it. That's me on the left there. It's not me, but that's how I used to be. And that's how I usually am in the summertime. It's freezing cold and snow outside, so I was out in the sun today. Oh, so good. Just the warmth from that sun and the cold, snowy day while I was feeding my deer in the backyard. Oh, it was so good to feel those sun rays just cover me. Suggest you do it. How ultraviolet blood irradiation treats many severe cardiovascular, infectious, obstetric, what? I'm sorry, obstetric, autoimmune, and neurological diseases. It's hard. This is my second language. Swedish is my first one. Yeah, I've been here for a while, but anyway. When you take a moment to look at it critically, the sunlight narrative completely falls apart. Artificial light disrupts circadian rhythms. UV blocking glasses prevent key wavelengths from reaching the brain. Indoor living strips away the full spectrum your body expects and needs. When sunlight drops, infections rise, cancers climb, and mental health falters. The most dramatic healing responses ever documented in medicine often came from one source, the right kind of ultraviolet light. But here's the complicated part. UV light works best inside the body, not just on the skin. During the 1918 flu pandemic, patients treated with sunlight survived at far higher rates. Doctors noticed that infections improved when patients were exposed to UV light. Then came the breakthrough that changed everything, a method for putting ultraviolet light directly into the bloodstream. It became one of the biggest medical discoveries of the 20th century, but today, almost no one knows it existed. Way back in the 1920s, a man named Emmett Knott tested the idea of sterilizing septic blood with UV light. His early dog experiments failed until his mistake changed history. He accidentally underdosed a septic dog, but instead of dying, the dog recovered. This revealed something huge. Irradiating a tiny amount of blood can trigger a powerful whole body response. Soon after, Knott treated a dying woman and she fully recovered. This is from Time, June 24th, 1940. In 1928, Emmett Kennard Knott, a Seattle physicist and X-ray dealer, began to experiment with the effect of ultraviolet rays on the blood of dogs. In a local veterinary hospital, he infected dogs with streptococci and staphylococci, withdrew a large amount of blood from their veins, irradiated it under an ultraviolet lamp, and put it back in circulation. Theoretically, the rays should have killed the germs. Instead, they killed the dogs. One winter night, after several months of this kind of thing, stubborn Mr. Knott went down to the dog hospital with a doctor friend. The veterinary was busy and sent Mr. Knott out to a shed to do his work. The dog was violently ill. The shed was cold, the light poor. So Mr. Knott irradiated only a small amount of blood, bundled up the dog, and went home. When he came back several days later, he was amazed to find that the dog was well. As it must on all researchers, an intimidation dawned on him. He had been giving his dogs too much irradiation. Ultraviolet rays in large amounts are deadly. In tiny amounts have natural curative power. Hot foot to the dog pound for more dogs went Mr. Knott. Desperate doctors contacted Knott after the pattern repeated. Patients on the verge of death improved within hours. Their symptoms collapsed and recovery times shortened dramatically. By the late 1930s and 1940s, ultraviolet blood irradiation, UVBI, was being used for all kinds of things. Sepsis, pneumonia, including viral, polio, kidney disease, asthma, hepatitis, rheumatic fever, and more. With great success rates and few side effects, the results were repeatedly called miraculous. Between 1938 to 1943, one physician treated more than 400 patients. His most extreme case involved a man with a cerebellar blood clot, pneumonia, septicemia, lung emboli. Uh, please, doctors, and please, physicians, excuse me with my words. I'm learning. Leg thrombosis, paralysis, delirium, and massive weight loss. Yikes! A hopeless case. So why not try UVBI? After only one treatment, he improved almost instantly. After the second, his recovery accelerated. He regained the weight he lost plus 10 more pounds. Without UVBI, he would have died. By the early 1950s, UVBI was being used in around 50 U.S. hospitals. There were over 50 published papers on its use, and more than 3,000 patients were treated for 36 different diseases, and it was all documented. Mainstream media like Time and the New York Times were even praising its use. Dr. George Miley called it one of the greatest contributions to medicine ever made by a citizen of the United States. But then it vanished. Internal sun kills deadly germ. The New York Times says here on June 10, 1940, blood removed from bath and race. New treatment for infection demonstrated of eve of opening here of convention of 10,000 physicians and surgeons. Why did UVBI vanish into thin air? Because the American Medical Association stepped in. They offered Emmett Knott a deal they thought he wouldn't refuse. $100,000. $100,000, the equivalent of $1 million today, to conduct a study and the rights to his device. He refused. So they ran a study anyway, overseen by someone who was building a competing device. Before it even began, the Journal of the American Medical Association predicted it would fail. You won't believe what they did. The machine was tampered with. Blood didn't receive proper UV exposure. Only 68 patients were included. It was literally built to fail. So, American Medical Association, 1952, July 26, ultraviolet irradiation of blood in man, studies of 68 patients. No abstract available. But even with the sabotage, none of the patients died. Many of them improved, and there were no reports of adverse events. Despite that, the American Medical Association declared that UVBI was worthless. Hospitals dropped it instantly, antibiotics were in and booming, and then the polio vaccine arrived. Not stopped production, but UVBI wasn't disproven, it was erased. You've probably noticed by now that the AMA has used the same playbook on countless other non-patentable, and effective therapies. The full report from a Midwestern doctor uncovers the blueprint used to bury UVBI, a template repeated for almost a century. We should all study it because it is probably going to happen again and again and again. In fact, we saw that very same blueprint again during the COVID years. Hydroxychloroquine was torpedoed by a Lancet study based on fabricated data. Ivermectin was smeared as horse paste despite decades of safety. Vitamin D, proven to beat flu shots in trials, was sidelined. Time-tested vitamin C was saving lives until studies debunked it by purposefully administering it too late to work. Safe, cheap, unpatentable therapies are always the first to be destroyed. While America was busy burying UVBI, Russia and Germany expanded its use. They developed incredible therapies like laser blood irradiation, LBI, internal fiber optic systems, and surface vessel light delivery. Studies have shown major benefits for infections, cardiovascular disease, autoimmune disorders, liver conditions, fertility issues, and neurological symptoms. Across nearly 100 years, the safety record of UVBI remains extraordinary. And here you have a screen that shows it. Laser blood irradiation added new advantages like faster effects and easier delivery. However, it uses a single wavelength at a time. UVBI delivers a spectrum. 2 weeks after treatment, UVBI often outperformed LBI in microcirculation improvement and anti-inflammatory effects. But both therapies point to the same truth. Light is medicine, and medicine is choosing to ignore it. Why is that? I think you know the answer. Here are just some of the conditions shown to improve with UVBI: sepsis, meningitis, tuberculosis, shingles, hepatitis, severe COVID, polio, AIDS, angina, Raynaud's, autoimmune diseases, pancreatitis, kidney diseases, post surgical complications, migraines, depressions, infertility, Crohn's disease, insomnia, brain fog. Have you experienced any of these? Do you know anyone suffering from anything on this list? Take a look at that again. Almost a century of research and virtually no side effects. And yet, you've probably never heard of UVBI. And I'll be honest, I hadn't heard of it. I just knew that I was using ultraviolet light when I was younger and I was out in the sun all the time. The deeper you dig, the clearer it becomes. UVBI was never disproven, it was buried. One company actually tried to bring UVBI back. Vasogen raised 225 million, completed more than 60 studies, and showed very strong results in phase 2 trials for heart failure and vascular disease. Their version wasn't even as effective as classic UVBI, yet it still worked. But a flawed phase 3 trial unfortunately sank the company. Even still, the data couldn't be more clear. The therapy was safe and effective. Another company, Avicure, completed phase 2 and phase 3 trials for UVBI use in hepatitis C, again showing benefit and safety. But the moment an expensive antiviral drug hit the market, investor interest evaporated. How strange, except it's not. A non-patentable therapy, no matter how effective, has nowhere to go in a system built on profit. That's why UVBI is called fringe today. It threatens too many revenue streams because it's never about healing people. It's only about profit. It's good to know that some people are waking up now. And that's the real lesson here. Treatments aren't adopted because they heal people. They're adopted because they're profitable. Treatments aren't suppressed because they don't work or cause harm. They're suppressed because they're too cheap and effective. UVBI could have saved millions from sepsis, pneumonia, viral infections, autoimmune flares, and cardiovascular disease. Instead, it was quietly erased by institutions that prioritized money over medicine. People died from these things because a known effective therapy was withheld. Let that sink in too. There it goes. Profit margin up. Health naturally down. The full report from a Midwestern doctor reveals the entire suppression playbook, from UVBI to COVID era censorship. We have to learn the pattern so we can see it when it happens next time. Thankfully, UVBI never truly died. It is still used in integrative clinics across the US. It is still being researched openly in places like Russia and Germany, and it's still saving lives in mainstream medicine in ways mainstream medicine refuses to acknowledge. Dr. George Miley's praise of Knott's work still holds true. UVBI is one of the greatest contributions to medicine ever made by a citizen of the United States. A safe, affordable, life-changing therapy was stolen from the public, and the consequences have been catastrophic. But it's not too late for us to learn what was taken from us and to take it back. And it's not too late to spend a little more time in the sun. There you have it, folks. I know a lot of people are not willing to post this stuff. But if we don't post it, how will you find out? I remember It was in 2020, 2021, whenever they came out and they started talking about the shots. I was very adamant to find out. And I remember sitting in prayers and praying for God to show me where I could find the information, the ingredients, and what was in these shots and learning about it. And I remember coming across a program on television. This was actually back then. I think it was, the round table with Joni Lamb. I remember Dr. Tenpenny was on there, and she was sharing a whole program. That program since then was taken off. I happened to capture it soon enough. I went to transcribe that whole program, word by word, and I ran to go make copies to send out to people. And there were some people that took the copies and started reading from it and started looking into it. A friend of mine, she's a nurse, and she grabbed it and she made copies and she took some for her friends. And people blew me off and didn't want to. They said it, we're not going to read anything that you put together. And my own family said the same thing. My closest, my loved ones, and I've since then separated from many of them, and um they're still around, but they still will not read anything that I give them. In fact, the words that I hear now is, if you are sharing it, there's no way I will read it. And I've dealt with that now for 4 years, and I will never quit. Because if we don't do it, who will? And if we don't do it now, then when? There are many people like me out there that are so good and so shunned in what they're doing, sitting on piles of information. And we're ready to share it and bring it to you. And I know I take a risk when I sit like this, but I also know that if I don't do it, there could be one person that's saved. To me, one person hearing this, one human hearing this, learning this information, taking time to research, maybe even a whole family. One, thank you. They take it in. We've saved one life. It's worth it. So, anyway, I'm not going to take more time with you guys tonight, but this article, as I said, will be in the instructions, or in the, in the notifications under the video. And you are welcome to join us on American Patriot Social. We are so happy to bring this information, and we have 5 years plus of researched material. We have built libraries filled with them. We have a video library, we have a whole article library, we have shows, we have all those things, so it can lead you to the right place. And we do this because we just love you so much, and we love to work with God, who put everything on the earth that was given to us for free to be used for our bodies to be healthy. Now, I happen to have a grandma, and I will tell you this the last thing, and you'll hear me repeat this quite often. A grandma that I had took me out in the woods, and we walked the woods with the book and foraged and ate from the trees and the leaves, and she taught me everything about it. What I learned from her, what we can do with nature, it never left me. She taught me when I was a little kid. I was there in the summertime. She used to live there by herself. We had a well to pull water from. We had an outhouse, and it was so primitive. And we would go and wash our clothes and wash the carpets and everything in the creek. And we had a fantastic time. When I needed to take a bath, she had a big barrel, and she heated up some water, and the rest was cold, and I dunked myself in it, and I had a blast. But most of the time in the summertime, we had lakes right around, so that's where I was swimming. She was with me for hours, and I was in the sun. There was no sunscreen back then. I was in and out of the water for hours on end. I miss it. I have no clue what happened to us, but I am determined to bring this back into our lives again, into the children's life, into the future generations. We need to help to save the children worldwide. If we don't do it now, who's going to do it? They are helpless. It is our job to learn this, teach it to our children, and teach them how to do things naturally, even cooking from scratch. Know what's in your food that you eat. It really is just starting with one thing. And yeah, it can be overwhelming, but guess what? Do one thing and master one thing. 1% a day, one thing at a time, and learn it. Change one thing for the better of yourself and your family and your loved ones per day. I mean, I should have done this a long time ago, but you know, now it's just as good as ever. So I just want to wish you a beautiful night. And I want to finish with a prayer. So, Father God, I just thank you so much for this time. And I thank you for every single human that is listening to this. And I pray, Father, that if there is any way that these words can plant a seed into a heart and make it blossom and come to fruition, give it all to you right now. We just ask for a hedge of safety, dome protection for everyone. We're asking that you bring them the wisdom and knowledge and discernment, and that you birth something new in them. And it's not new, it's ancient. It's us remembering. So we are asking you right now that you will help us and guide us and lead us in everything we're doing at all times. We love you so much, and we just want to see humanity be set free. We want to see the children set free. We want to see everyone set free. That we all come together at this point and we unite, no matter what walk we're on, no matter what side of the spectrum we're on, no matter what we believe in, no matter what, I don't want to talk politics, but no matter who we're voting for, it doesn't matter. This is the time when we can make a difference and we can make ripples. And if we all do one little thing every day, we know, Father, that you hear us and see us and you know every detail about us. The ones that don't know you, we're just praying right now that they will open their hearts, open the eyes to our heart, Father, so that we may feel you, that we may see you. We love you so much. And we thank you so much. And we glorify you and praise you and save this earth. We're crying out to you right now that you will help us heal this earth. We are here. We're open. We come hungry to bring truth out into this world. And that we will be a light in the midst of the darkness. And that we will put our differences aside. And we will just learn how to love one another right where we're at. People that are not awake, that's okay. They awaken when there are time for them to awaken. But when they do, we're there and we have what we need to help them. Everyone came into this earth with something good in their heart. Our children deserve our time to do this and fight for this. So we thank you, Father, that you love us so much. And we know you're going to, your fire fall down everywhere and create ripples and flood this earth with the goodness. We love you so much. We thank you and we glorify you and praise you. So it is. Amen. I'll put in a song after this. I did some worship and I just felt led to sing a song, but I'm going to put a track right after this. So anyway, have a good night. Have a good morning. Have a good afternoon. Love you. Bye. Thank you for loving us so much. Open the eyes to my heart, Lord. Open the eyes to my heart. I want to see you. I want to see you. Open the eyes to my heart, Lord. Open the eyes to my heart. I want to see you. And I want to feel you. So see you high and lifted up, shining in the light of your glory. Open the power and love as we sing, holy, holy, holy. Open the eyes of my heart, Lord. Open the eyes to my heart. I want to see you. I want to see you. Open the eyes to my heart, Lord. Open the eyes of my heart. I want to see you. Now I want to feel you. To see you high and lifted up, shining in the light of your glory. Pour out your power and love as we sing, holy, holy, holy. High and lifted up, shining in the light of your glory. Pour out your power and love as we sing, holy, holy, holy. Ooh, holy, holy, holy. Holy, holy, holy. You are holy, holy, holy. I want to see you. Holy, holy, holy. Holy, holy, holy. You are holy, holy. We want to see you. Holy, holy, holy. Lord, you are holy. You are holy. Oh, we want to see you. To see you high and lifted up, oh, shining in the light of your glory. Pour out your power and love as we sing, holy, holy, holy. Oh, high and lifted up, shining in the light of your glory. Pour out your power and love as we sing, holy, holy, holy. Holy, holy, holy. Let's sing it. Holy, holy, holy. Holy, holy, holy. You're holy. Open the eyes to my heart, Lord. Open the eyes to my heart. I want to see you. We want to see you. Holy, holy, holy. Holy, holy, holy. You are holy, holy, holy. We want to see you. Amen.